Dear LCPs, my name is Rolf, and I'm your current president of ISEC International. I'm currently recording this video from Iceland, where I'm attending an event called the Spirit of Humanity Forum, where I'm representing all of ISEC in the softer values and how we bring them in our leadership and in our governance, and it's really very powerful. I wanted to talk with you guys about ISEC right now. And I've just been at three regional conferences in Asia Pacific and the Philippines at APXLDS, at ILC, Ibero-America Leadership Congress in Mexico, and at EuroExpro in Poland. And I met some of you there. And I asked some of you to what extent your MCPs or your MCs had been talking with you guys about what happened during International Presidents Meeting in the mainland of China, and what was the global direction from ISEC International. And some of you had those meetings with your MC, some of you had not, and that's normal. But I wanted you guys to be aware of it because I have quite the ambition when it comes to local committees and LCPs in particular. First, a confession: I was never LCP. And the reason I was never LCP is because I didn't understand what LCPs did. I really didn't think you guys did very much at all. And it was only later when I was on the MC and when I was MCP that I realized that this organization actually depends on LCPs a lot. And it's very simple. You guys are the only people in this organization that have true power. And that's because you actually lead operationally ISEC. And the ISEC that you want to see in your local committee is an ISEC that you can lead. You can recruit your EB for that, you can recruit your members for that, you can build a vision for that, and that ISEC will actually translate and will happen. Once you're on MC level or even ISEC International, you realize that you can set direction, you can inspire, you can bring ideas, but LCPs are the ones who decide, is that what they want or not. And the question right now is, what kind of ISEC do you want? And we are in April 2014. We have 18 months left of ISEC 2015. And the truth is that we are not achieving our global internship program. And the question is, what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it globally, nationally, and what are you doing about it locally? And at the International Presidents Meeting in mainland of China, we, meaning ISEC International, brought together your MCPs to a room, and we asked them that. And we asked very seriously, are we serious about this program? Are we serious about achieving it? Does it matter to us? And I think it's an important question. If it doesn't matter, then we should reset our goals. Then it's not important to us. Then it's not really what drives us. But if it matters, then we cannot sit 18 months before the end of 2015 and look at our organization globally that isn't achieving this goal and just shrug our shoulders. That's not leadership. And your MCPs told us clearly that it mattered. It mattered because the kind of leadership that the GIP program develops is a leadership that we believe we want to provide to young people, and it matters for the world. And it's because we know that a lot of the world is run by corporations, and we want to make sure that the right kind of values and perspectives and competences and skills are developed in young people to impact that environment. And if we don't develop that in ISEC, then how can we expect to change the world? And so if we have that ambition, and if that change happens by achieving a large amount of GIP experiences, 17,000 by 2015, but we're only doing a little bit more than 5,000 today, then we need to do a lot differently, because that's tripling of our results in a year and a half. So imagine, for every GIP you do today, you will be doing 3 in a year and a half. Now, what does that mean? At IPM, with your MCPs, we sat and put down all exchanges for 2014. We planned every single exchange. And the reason we did that was for one reason. In GIP, the way that we do ISEC doesn't work. You might wonder, what does it mean it doesn't work? Well, what I mean by that is the very simple operation of supply and demand is broken. We've been focusing on fixing that for 2.5, 3 years now, but the truth is that still only 45% of TN forms get matched. Only 35% of EP forms get matched. And if you take your local committee, are you really able to know exactly which forms you should raise and which are matchable, exactly how they look? And the truth is, most of the time we don't. We raise a form, more or less what we think is possible, and then we look very hard to find a match. We don't know which country that will be because it's very difficult to predict, and we don't know what time period it will be either. And often our EPs are unavailable for a long time, and they even get rejected maybe sometimes after, and our TNs, we struggle in delivering it. And if you imagine all the man hours that go behind every TN form you raise, you can realize what a problem this is for the organization, that last year we had more than 7,000 TN forms that we were never able to match. So imagine every TN form, how much you would celebrate the raising, but 7,000 of them never get matched at all. And the situation is slightly different in GCTP, because in GCTP, you know how to match that. You know what countries to send people to, you know how to raise the EPs based on what timeline, and you can predict your supply and demand. So therefore, we're looking at, well, in GIP, we're not growing, and in GIP, we need to have this massive jump, but the system is broken. So therefore, we went and we sat with your MCPs, and we planned every single GIP experience for 2014. And that means that we planned specifically between which two entities is every exchange going to happen, which specific product is that exchange going to be. So is it going to be marketing? And if it's going to be marketing, is it going to be sales or market research? And which time period is it going to be? Is it going to be realized in June or July? And for what length? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? And we literally did that. And together with your MCs, we planned 13,000 exchanges in GIP for 2014. Now that's incredible, and that means that we have finally been able to align supply and demand in this program. But what that translates into is that for that to work at all, it's all about what you as an LCP want to do. So in these days, in your national conferences and in your meetings with your MCPs, they are talking to you about these goals that were set. And it's the leadership challenge to you. How do you deal with that? And I remember when I was LCVP. It was not LCP. When I was LCVP, I remember when the MC came with us with partnerships and goals, we'd look at them and think, I'm not sure about that. We have our own plans. The MC anyway doesn't really know what it's talking about. And thank you, but no thank you. But in all honesty, this is not an option for our organization. Making those kind of decisions, if we do that, it means we will not achieve ISO 2015. And that's why I'm talking with you today. Instead, the kind of leadership that we need is the kind of leadership where you as an LCP speak to your MC and you say, okay, show me your goals in marketing, show us our partnerships, and I will take the responsibility for my LC delivering on that partnership. And I will take the responsibility to deliver on GIP. And if your entity has 10 LCs and your partnership in OGIP in marketing is to do 100 marketing EPs this summer, then you need to look at that as an LCP and with your other 9 fellow LCPs and say, how many will you do this summer? And you have to raise your hand and say, I will do 15, and I will do 20, and I will do 10. And yes, I will realize it with that specific country, entity, in June. And that means that next week and the week after, we will run massive marketing campaigns on that specific profile of students with that specific sub-product and focus entity, and we will recruit those students. And we'll do that specifically knowing that on the other hand, there is an entity out there and they're doing the same on the TN side. And they're doing that and we have that information. And that is the kind of leadership that ISEC is demanding of you who are Generation 2015 local committee presidents. And That's the challenge. That's the challenge that we as AI gave to your MCs, and that's the challenge that your MCPs and your MCs are giving to you. And that is a challenge for this organization, for us to make one global plan to achieve our global common ambition, instead of making a different plan for every LC and every MC, that in the end we cannot achieve anything. I look forward to seeing your reactions. I will put my email in the newsletter, and I would love to have you write to me and tell me, I'm committed to do this, this is what we're going to do, or even to write me back and say, I don't understand, explain to me what I should do, or even to challenge and say, I don't agree with this, I don't think this is the way ISIC should be run. But I love to see your engagement, and yeah, it's about Gen 2015, purposeful, collaborative, and driven to achieve the greatest ambition that we have ever set, ISIC 2015. Let's do it together. Take care.